Okay. I wonder how long I would have gone with the mic off. Anyways, welcome. Anybody watching live, anybody watching the replay. Today we're celebrating 70 backers. By drawing Maru Kiru as Geralt of Rivia. It was a request by Jeffrey, who's backing the campaign. In case you need a refresher, we do these little celebratory cosplay drawings of Maru whenever we're reaching certain backer goals. So this one was for 70. And we had a little bit of an emotional roller coaster yesterday with we reached 70 backers. And then, I'm always reluctant to announce right away because, Kickstarter can be, a little mercurial. But then we hit 71, and I said, okay, I'll announce the stream. I'm feeling good. So then I announced the stream, and immediately 2 people pulled out. We went back down to 69. And I was like, oh, that doesn't make me feel great. And then we had a couple more people sign up, and then another couple people drop off. We had somebody who signed up and dropped off in the same day. Maybe they were just trying to help make the number. I don't know. We're back at 71 today, as of right now. I haven't looked at it in the last 30 seconds, so anything could happen. But, we're kind of just decided to pull the trigger, and whatever happens, happens. But I really want to, say thank you to the folks that support. And Jeffrey was one of the first backers, or at least he was an early backer of the campaign. And so, appreciate the suggestion, and we're going to make it happen. As you can kind of tell, I went with the Witcher 1 outfit, which some folks might be curious about, but Witcher 1 is actually the only Witcher game that I have played all the way through. I don't know if that's heretical or not. It's a weird game, but I like it. The first one. So I'm just going to get to work drawing, and if things show up in the chat, I will of course respond to them. I'll do my best to keep an eye on it. Past couple times, it's taken a couple minutes for me to notice that someone's talking in the chat, so do forgive me if I am not super punctual. I'm not sure why I started in the middle. I think I wanted to do the wolf head first. Oh, thank you. Thank you for stopping by just to say hello. I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry you can't watch it live, but thanks for stopping by, and I promise to try to make the VOD a good one. we'll draw the face. Oftentimes inking, I like to start with the face. I guess that comes from, you know, if you're working with time constraints, as I frequently am, you want to start by inking like the most important features. That way, if you are brought into a situation where you need to do the hurry up, you've got the important stuff done first. In this case, I started with the wolf head medallion, just because that was, you know, that's a weird bit of detail. The hair is going to be weird on this one because when you become a Witcher, your hair turns white. Maru Kiru's kind of got a distinctive hair color, so I have some decisions to make about how we're going to present that. We'll do a hair layer though. Spotting blacks is kind of a good way to start any ink process. I do my ink weird. I'm trying to make a lighting tutorial right now as a video. My first attempt at it didn't go the way I wanted it to. So I'm kind of thinking back about like how I want to present that video. And I think the first thing I realized is that like the 5 steps that I laid out are not really indicative of what my actual process is. So that could have been part of the problem with the video. Yeah, I tend to do my line art first and then do spot blacks. I don't know, digital art is so... You can make it whatever you want it to be in so many ways. It's like... I try to let my process be malleable. Because there's nothing worse for me than getting stuck in my ways about doing something. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. There's so many things that I do just because I feel like I have to. And trying to like break away from that is important. That's such a huge part of what I've been doing with my personal comics in general. It's like there are plenty of instances where you're going to have to follow the rules. But if you're the one making the rules, then you can kind of do whatever you want to a degree. And that's the beauty of comics. I'm actually pretty happy we got a request for well, it's not really a gender bend, but it's just a masculine character costume for this. We had a couple of them the last time we did this, and they were fun. And we did Luffy, and we did Dio, which was my personal favorite of the bunch. That might have been it for last time. And I know I think that Ciri is technically The Witcher as well now, but reading the comment that I got, I don't think that was what the intention was. Plus, I feel like Geralt and Maru have a little bit in common in terms of demeanor. Never did watch any more of that Witcher show. I saw the first 2 seasons. I liked them. I was one of those people who thought the first season was really good. Yeah, I guess I'm just making some interesting decisions today. That's fine. It's fun to be fun. Let's roll with it. Hope for this is to ink and color on the stream today. Reality is we'll do as much as we can. I'm trying to be less precious about what I do on the streams. I think that's kind of the fun of streaming, is like I don't have to necessarily meticulously plan something and make sure that I do every single step on the stream. I like it when it works out that way. Sometimes I just don't have the time. Like with the Chrono Trigger stuff, where it was like, it would be really cool to set up like, I don't know, 5 or 6 streams to get all these done. But on the other hand, I'm about to take a week off, and I wanted to have them done before that, so it's like I really need to do these fast. Those are all currently going up on time-lapse right now. I think 5 out of the 6 of them are up. If you haven't seen them yet. And hey, maybe give me a suggestion or something for the next batch of sticker sheet kind of things that I should do. I got a request for One Piece to do, presumably, all the Straw Hats. And I got another one for Street Fighter, so that could be cool. Oh, Alice! Oh, it's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Alice Quinn Rose, who was my creative partner on a couple of comics. Only one of them's been published so far. A great horror writer. Yeah, I like the low pressure content. There's a degree to which I need to relax as well, right? Anyway, something like this is like... This is a pure fun day for all of us. I am also hyped for Chapter 3. I'm actually... My hype for Chapter 3 is almost complete, because I'm just about done with it. I'm actually starting to get hyped for Chapter 4, but that's a different story, to be told another time. Yes, right now I am just kind of like getting ready for the Chapter 3 release, finally. If the road feels like it's been extremely long. We're in the final hours of the Kickstarter now. We got less than 2 days to go? Slightly more than 2 days to go? It ends at 8 p.m. on 4/23. But yeah, it's been a good experience this time, and I appreciate everybody who contributed or who has spread word of mouth about it. I know not everybody is in a position to contribute right now, and I can definitely appreciate that. So even if you just shouted it out somewhere, you definitely helped. What in the hell kind of... Pencil's a little bit looser than I usually do. Some of these crossed belts, I'm just like, what? What is that supposed to be? Geralt is crisscrossed with so many belts you'd think he was in a Final Fantasy game. I don't know why I always pick on Final Fantasy when I think about belts, but I definitely do. Oh, that's one of those. Okay. Anyways, dude, looking up the references for this got me thinking about The Witcher 1 and what a weird game that is. Because It's kind of an action RPG, but also kind of not. It's very unique. And it's isometric. You know, it kind of looks like a Baldur's Gate or something along those lines. Or even a Diablo. Final Fantasy is 2000s goth coded. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel like I've said this a couple of times. I feel like I missed out not having a proper goth phase. Maybe it's not too late. What was I talking about? I was talking about The Witcher. Um, yeah, no, that game is just so. That game is so weird and cool. And the thing I liked most about it is they let you do a morally gray path in that game, and I feel like it's actually encouraged. Like I think that's considered generally to be the true ending, where you kind of remain neutral. Because Geralt theoretically doesn't really care about the political machinations of that world. He's just concerned with monster slaying. Or at least that's the way it was presented to me when I first started playing it. I didn't know anything about The Witcher when I started playing it, so. And the kind of the bizarro trading card romance system. Collect them all. Yeah, weird game. It's like, I like it when things are unique. I don't know, the newer ones never grabbed me. I played 2 a little bit. And I essentially got to a point where I made like a critical story decision that I immediately regretted. And instead of like going back to an old save, I just stopped playing. And I never finished 2. And when 3 was coming out, people were like, "This is going to be the greatest game ever made." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could go back and finish 2 so I can play 3." And I never did that. And so yeah, that's where we're here. Now there's a 4th one coming out, and I don't know, I may have just missed the boat on The Witcher. But I played that first one. I'm always like shocked with how fast ink comes together. You know, all the brain work happens at the pencil stage. Oh, you don't have to play 2 to play 3. Alright. Maybe I'll just play 3 then. Looking at some of the references and trying to figure out like what exactly Geralt's kit is. And he's always got this hook on his belt, and I'm like, what the hell is that thing supposed to be? And it's like a meat hook for heads. Very very grisly. Very cool. Okay, swards. And I gotta do some leather details. Oh, thank you. I like the, yeah. I've been doing some fun stuff with the hair lately. You know, the comic coming up, you'll see some of that in there as well. Just it's so that's one of the reasons that I redesigned Maru for this issue, and you know, for going forward is one, I did the original character design 5 years ago, and I've come a long way as an artist since then, and I wanted to have another crack at it. And I was getting bored with the way that her hair worked, which is like kind of important for a comic like this, with the with the hair is such a, like a distinctive thing that she's got going on. And you know, it was getting to the point with the old design where it was just like rolls and rolls and rolls, and they would billow on forever, and it wasn't flowing the way that I wanted it to. So, you know, her hair is quite a bit straighter in the redesign because I started doing the kind of swoops and serpentine shapes. You know, and a lot of this is, I talk about this kind of thing all the time. It's just keeping yourself interested as an artist is so super important, because it's like if you get bored working on something, how can you ever expect people to be excited to read it? Think about that with my comics and stuff. Is it's like I don't want to waste anybody's time. You know, I really want you to have as good a time as I do when you come to read the book. So. Hey, 2 days left to back at time of recording. If you're watching the VOD, then you may have missed it. But, of course, there will be late pledges. Things are slightly more expensive when you late pledge. But late pledges, I'll probably leave them until end of May. Just in case. All right. So we lay the hair in black because I paint over the top of it. You can look in the banner ad for the Kickstarter campaign. You can kind of see the way that layering happens. But I did a lot of spot black on this today, and I'm actually going to do a little bit more because I'm not 100% happy with the way that turned out. But there's a lot of black leather in this costume. So we do some kind of the little shiny spots. Oh, I see. I'm watching the backer counter in real time now, which is not. I don't advise doing that. Actually, I know I break my own advice all the time on this channel, and this is one of those. That's like probably the best piece of advice that I haven't listened to. When I did my first Kickstarter, I'll take advice from anybody and everybody who's got more experience doing this kind of thing because it's like there's a learning curve, and it's good to listen to people who have had success and take from their experience. But my friend Cody said to me, no matter how many times refreshing the page does not make the number go up. Watching the number does not make the number go up. It's like you have to be able to carry on with your life and not be paranoid all the time about what the follower count is and what the dollar count is. Obviously, you need to keep an eye on those statistics, but checking them a couple of times a day, not just like sitting there, refresh the page, watch it live, drive you nuts. That being said, I am currently watching it live. What are you gonna do? Okay, this is pretty cool. I really need to figure out what I'm going to do with her hair. It's not going to be pure pink, but I think that the pink and purple have to make their way in. Oh, yeah, no, I completely understand. It's unfortunate, honestly, that I have to do it that way. But yeah, shipping from the United States to anywhere else in the world is prohibitively expensive. That's not a new thing, but it's also not a thing that I see getting any better under current circumstances. But this is the reason we have digital tiers. And someday, I'll find a way to get distribution overseas. There was an option for it. I had it figured out during the last campaign, and I ended up not being able to do it, just because there wasn't a high enough demand. But someday, or maybe someday I'll just make it over there in person, and I'll bring a stack of books with me. No, but definitely the worst thing about fulfillment is, and it's like I do the fulfillment myself. I don't. I try to make it I make it as cost effective as I possibly can, and it's like still, just have to. That's like I passed pretty much the direct cost on to the backer, and I round up. That's my handling. So like the media mail for shipping within the United States when you're doing book only is by weight, and the minimum charge is $4.63. So I round that up to $5. That's my I take my 37 cents is my handling charge, and that's true for most single book type shipments. Would be around that, and then you kind of think you get to like 2 books. It's a little bit more expensive because it's also scaled by weight. But as soon as you are shipping internationally, and even to somewhere like Canada, where it's like a lot of places in Canada are a hell of a lot closer than a lot of places in the United States to where I am, and it's 3 times as much right out of the gate. Not 3 times as much. I'm sorry, like 10 times as much. It's ridiculous. That's not what I meant to do. Yeah, I don't 10 pounds. That's like it's like $15, right? Something like that. Yeah, I would love to have an option like that. Um, I should look into it. But like, you're not going to get cheaper than USPS, but it's possible that I'm missing something on. Okay, 12 to 15ish. Boy, the pound is closer to parity with the dollar than I thought it was. I don't remember what if anything this pouch is supposedly for. It's prominently featured on the design though, so I'm like, well, I guess I better include it in my costume here. Geralt's pouch. The kids love Geralt's pouch. They can't stop talking about it. Oh man, I had a felt old moment the other day. Um, my a young relative of mine who's an artist and likes to send me art and is very good at art and making a comic of their own. But they did some fan art and they sent it to me and it was like humanoid interpretations of some characters and asked me to guess. And I was like, well, give me a hint. And the hint they gave me was like they're from older video games. And the quote unquote older video games were Cuphead and Undertale, and I'm like, oh my lord, I'm ancient. Love Tiny Wolf, yeah. Oh, you do lettering now? That's cool. I didn't know you did that. I'll have to keep that in mind if I find myself in need of a letterer. I really want to get better at lettering myself, but it's definitely the part of the process that I'm grinding up against the most at the moment. I am working on a book for a publisher, and I turned in some drafts, and they were like, well, we think we're going to have some lettering notes for you. And I was like, oh, please don't make me do the lettering again. But I need to force myself to do it. I need to get better at it. Hello, Victoria. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. I was talking about making this lighting tutorial, which I'm still going to do. Because I do have a process for it that's fairly easy and produces some pretty good consistent results. I think the one thing that I was thinking about as I was making my first attempt at trying the video is, like, I think I said step one was identifying the light source, which I do, but I don't ever really do it in like a concrete way where I actually draw a reference on the page of where the light source is and how it's shining on the character. So I tried to do that in my first attempt at this video, and it didn't come out super well, so you can give it another go at some point. I mean, but the methodology is pretty simple. Yeah, go enjoy food. And thank you for boosting the algorithm. I'll just keep rambling about lighting. But yeah, you have, the line art layer with the spot blacks, and then you do 2 shadow layers, typically a light shadow and a deep shadow. And I'm doing the light shadow right now, and I like to put down a completely gray layer and then erase the lighted portions. And then when I do the deep shadow, I'll do a second 20% opacity layer, and I'll fill in the places I want to have more shadowed. Of course, I like to do things very stylized. Okay, I think we're ready to do the deep shadow, and then we're going to do the flat colors, and then we'll paint the hair. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to exhale once the Kickstarter finally ends in 52 hours. It's always just a nail-biting experience. But for the couple people just joining us, we're doing a little celebration stream today, celebrating the backer milestone on my Kickstarter that I set, 70. So we're doing the main character of my comic, Maru, Kiru, and dressed as the Witcher, as requested by one of our backers. And I picked the Witcher 1 design because I'm fun like that. Okay. Just about ready to do flats. Kind of take this as a matter of course in the process that I want every step of my process to make the next step of my process slightly easier. So the pencil is where you spend most of the time doing the brain work, figuring out the drawing, and then the ink and the tone, you're creating the the value of the drawing. And then when I get to color, I'm really just laying in flats and I'm doing a couple of highlights, and then with some characters I'm then painting the hair on afterwards, which is what we're going to do here. But the coloring takes very little time, kind of compared to what you might think. And especially on something like this where it's just a single character standing in a void. But I need to look up a picture of Geralt real quick. I mean, brown, black, beige. I'm dressed in earth tones because I live on a planet. There we go. I'm glad the Kickstarter's almost done, and I've decided that I'm going to be rewarding myself with with the Oblivion remaster, which, if the rumors are to be believed, might be released tomorrow. I got sent my friend Robin sent me an announcement from the Bethesda channel that was like a live announcement for tomorrow at 11 a.m. saying all will be revealed with a big flaming 4 on it. And it's like, okay, so I'm hoping that that's the reveal, is that it's on Steam right now, go get it, and not we're releasing it in 2 years. Oops. I guess we should give her the scar. Think about that. It's part of the costume. I feel like color is one of the things that I get the most recognition for. It's definitely the number one thing that gets said to me at shows. And so, ironically, for whatever reason, I have something I have very little to say about when I'm in the moment of the moment to moment of the process. Color is kind of one of those things. It's just like, I don't know. It is what it is. Putting down flats. I've already done my tone, my ink layer. I do change the when I'm doing black only, I'll do 20 and 20 on the opacity, but I will frequently will change the hue of the shade layer. So in that case, I tend to ratchet up the intensity of it a little bit because it's not pure black anymore, and I like that a lot. Actually, I think that looks really good. So we'll keep that. Okay, I am going to now need to do some highlights. Oh, eyes, of course. Another character with yellow eyes. Maru Kiru, of course, has yellow eyes. I feel like there was another character I did recently where I was like, hey, they have yellow eyes. Of course, when you're a Witcher, the yellow eyes come with the process of being turned into a Witcher, whereas when you're Maru Kiru, that's just your natural eye color. Okay, this is cute. I like this. Like half the reason I picked the Witcher 1 Geralt design is like, I don't know, I feel like he looks very Eastern European in those in that first game. And I really like that. I think that's one of the things that I liked most about The Witcher 1 is like it feels pretty Polish. It was different in that way. It felt I don't know, it was just cool. speaking of like Polish fantasy, I feel like I can't go through a stream without talking about Łukasz Kowalczyk, but that's another guy where you look at his stuff and you're just like, yeah, that's Polish comics, baby. That's what's happening. You love to see it. It's so powerful and cool. And I know a lot of that's got more to do with Łukasz himself than it does with him being Polish, but hey, it makes you proud to have a ski in your name, tell you that. But I'll push that on anybody. If you haven't read To Helen Galgenbeck yet, do yourself a favor. But that's Łukasz, and that's actually the official Mork Borg comic. Okay, we're almost there on this one. I do want to do another layer of highlights on the leathers. Whenever I'm drawing a lot of leather, I can't help but think about the episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Mac and Charlie want to open a leather shop. And they can't just... The leathers, man. The leathers, the beaded leathers, the studded leathers, all the leathers. Okay. That's not gonna work. Let's just do white. This is a really interesting one. I'm super happy with the way that it's coming out. And it came together very naturally. And I was expecting to have to do more work to kludge it together. It really didn't. I haven't done the hair yet, so that could all change. I think we're going to do something where the hair is white at the base and pink at the tip. And that'll be how we bridge the gap between Maru, Kiru and Geralt of Rivia. It just feels so weird to even draw a different hair color on Maru. It's like, wow, that ain't right. That's not on the style guide. That's funny. I'll get over it. My brush is a little too thick, and well, that's great for the big swoops, getting the detail here where it's like I want the thickness of the ear line that I leave behind to be somewhat consistent, look a bit like a stroke. Makes it a little bit difficult, but that's okay. We can put more detailing later. Vibe's a little bit like Ivy. I guess that's just another character that has white hair. Guy who's only seen The Boss Baby watch his second movie. I think that Darmok is aspirational. If you've seen that particular episode of TNG. Because I don't want to have to explain to people that I'm talking about a meme anymore. I just want to say it, and they'll go, oh yeah. Which, you know, I guess at its heart is also some kind of newspeak gobbledygook, but whatever. Nothing means anything anymore. It doesn't matter. So I think my original intention was I was gonna, when I painted the hair black on, I was gonna leave it separate from the ink layer, and I was gonna change the color of it later. That would have saved some time, but I forgot, and that's okay. So now I just need to kind of go in and do a little bit of cleanup. All right, cool. Something we need to do so I can see what's going on at least is drop in a background color. I made it white all the way down. I said I wasn't going to do that. We need to blend. Okay, this is fine. I can work with this. There. That's got the spirit, I think. Best of both worlds. Yeah, it really is, right? I sometimes think it would be cool to do an old lady Maru at some point. And I feel like she would look exactly the same, but just have white hair. Just based on this and nothing else. do need to get some kind of background shape. Oh, I should really just drop the moon in there. We need slightly wider margins. And let's go get the moon. Nah, that's not the color I wanted. That could definitely happen. Like I don't want to spoil what's gonna happen in chapter 3 and future chapters, but some weird shit is about to happen in this comic. So that could be part of it. Who's to say? Yeah, I'm big on the white is actually adding quite a bit to this in a way that I don't think I was necessarily expecting. Which is something that's going to be good to have in my back pocket. Because I rely on the green and magenta a lot, and having a third tone is very cool. I mean, honestly, you look at like the white we do in the highlights and stuff, and I've kind of been working with that, but putting that on the hair really does something. It's cool. Okay. I'm actually trying to downplay my saturation just a little bit. Did it on the Chrono Trigger drawings and I was really happy with it. So maybe I'm learning and growing as an artist and don't need to have my saturation at 4 gajillion% all the time. What just happened? Doing this for a reason. Yeah, it's pretty badass actually. Yeah, I've been learning that about doing like the color value stuff and the contrast is it's really nice to have that big white pop. When I added the glow, it made the face highlights the same color as the hair, so I wanted to just tweak that a little bit. Oh, somehow, some way, I think we managed to do it again. Another pretty cool drawing. Oh, I just need to do... No, not there. That's particularly intense. Very good. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. All right, pretty cool. We're gonna call it there for today. And maybe we'll throw some. Let's put some stars in the sky while we're here. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you even more for supporting the Kickstarter. You know, we got just a little bit more than 48 hours to go there. We are funded. We're really just kind of trying to see how high we can go now, and every dollar really counts towards making more Maru Kiru comics. The more focus that I can put on this series, the better for everybody, in my opinion. So, I really appreciate that. Thank you for watching the stream today. Thank you for watching it in replay if you are watching it in replay. And of course, if you are watching it in replay and you have missed the end of the Kickstarter campaign, I've got good news for you. There are late pledges activated, so you can still go in and support the campaign. Things are slightly more expensive in the late pledges stage. But we're talking, in most cases, usually just a dollar or two. So those late pledges will probably go... I don't know why my camera's suddenly so out of focus. Sorry about that. Okay, I guess that's just a sign that that's time to end the stream. But yeah, so late pledges will probably go up through the end of May, and then I'll be starting to get the books out. Wow, again, with a book on this, and start working on the next one. So, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed turning Maru Kiru into Geralt of Rivia. And if we manage to hit 90 backers before the end of the campaign, we're going to do another one of these. So if you have suggestions of something you'd like to see, and it's possible we might do some of these off season of a Kickstarter. So if you have suggestions that you'd like to see, please let me know. And we have 2 more milestones, 90 and 100 backers that we're hoping to hit, and maybe not. Nothing's impossible, so we'll see how it goes. But again, thank you for joining me here, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.